Hello, Sam Peterson.
Hi, Sam. This is Bill Crane from Freehold.
Bill, how are you?
Pretty good, thanks. How's everything with you?
Good. How's the planning coming along down Freehold?
Well, we have some changes to introduce. It looks like we'll need some extra lines near the network area.
What are the changes?
We'd like to put in at least two, about 20 to 30 feet from the processor.
Sam Peterson is a telephone company building space planning engineer. He's just been notified of a change in an equipment program for the central office building he's been working on.
All right, Bill. I'll look into it.
Be talking with you soon.
Operating company engineers have a new software tool to help space planners in the layout and design of central offices and transmission stations. It is a time-shared computer graphics system called TOPES, which stands for Telephone Office Planning and Engineering System. TOPES uses commercially available terminals to gain access to a variety of computer programs created by Bell Labs and Western Electric for the Bell system.
Hello, Joan Marshall.
Hi, Joan. Sam Peterson, Newark.
Hi, Sam.
Joan, I'm afraid we may be violating some critical cable length limitations in our plan for the number 1 ESS, the one we were talking about last week. Could you switch on TOPES for me? Check my floor plan with me. See if we have a problem.
Wait a second. I'll call up the program.
TOPES software consists of 5 units: design, plan, news, data, and archive. All of the terminals are connected to the host computer at Western Electric's data center in New Jersey. Sam and an AT&T equipment planning consultant, Joan Marshall, are using the graphic conferencing feature of the TOPES design unit to discuss a floor plan.
My TOPES number is 34.
Graphic teleconferencing is just one feature of the TOPES design unit. From 2 to 20 terminals can be linked together for a conference. Any change in a drawing, graph, or text made on one screen will appear simultaneously on all other screens linked in the conference.
What part of the plan are you questioning, Sam?
Near the network area.
Okay, let's try moving those equipment frames closer to the processor to minimize the bus length. Like this. How's that?
Okay. I'll make a hard copy. Hold it a second.
TOPES makes it possible to look quickly at alternate plans, helps provide ready access to equipment floor plan data, and permits us to ensure that all equipment requirements are met in a proper way. Layout and design of telephone offices requires meeting equipment needs for installation, operation, office cabling, cooling, power and lighting, all while living within the physical constraints of the building in which it is housed. John Osmers, a long lines equipment planner, is using the TOPES design unit to position and draw symbols for the various elements of his office plan. Preparing office plans directly on the terminal screen is the principal feature of the TOPES design unit. He's putting in building walls, columns, and equipment. TOPES can perform engineering calculations because the system stores data on location, power consumption, heat dissipation, floor loading, and other information for equipment and equipment groups. Any rectangular area of the display can be enlarged for detailed study or to make changes. John has finished using the TOPES design unit. Next, he requests access to the TOPES plan unit. John's working in the plan unit because he wants to identify the space, power, and other building requirements he'll need for a number 4 ESS office. The computer asks John a list of questions about service requirements for the facility. When he supplies the appropriate information, the computer prints planning information, floor area required, cabling information, power consumption, and a list of equipment for the new office. This will help John to develop several alternate office plans. Fred Munson is an equipment engineer. He requires the latest technical information to do his job efficiently. Each time someone logs into the TOPES system, a notice of new information in the news unit is automatically received. For example, new office planning guidelines called TOPESograms or new program features called TOPES notes can be requested. Messages and requests for graphic conferencing from other engineers can also be received. The fourth TOPES unit, the data unit, supplies space planners with a catalog of engineering symbols and data sheets for hundreds of equipment frames and equipment groups. Now Joan Marshall is demonstrating the fifth unit of TOPES, the archive unit. It will have almost unlimited capacity for offline storage and retrieval of records from the TOPES host computer in order to save storage costs and offer more convenience than manual systems. Each of the 5 TOPES units we've seen deals with an essential part of office planning and layout procedure: design, graphics, text, engineering data, and calculations for the preparation of floor plans for central offices and transmission stations. Also, graphic teleconferencing for discussion and approval of plans. Plan, computations to determine equipment and floor space requirements. The TOPES plan unit contains several modules: local, toll, power, cable, and building. Some of these modules are still being developed. News, office planning bulletins about new equipment, information about new TOPES features, and messages from TOPES users. Data, floor plan data for equipment frames and equipment groups, and a catalog of frequently used symbols for engineering drawings. And finally, the archive unit for storage and retrieval of floor plans and records. TOPES, Telephone Office Planning and Engineering System. It can save a planner almost 1/3 of the time he or she would normally spend to create a floor plan. With TOPES, complete office plans are being designed in 3 to 5 hours per 1,000 square feet. It helps engineers because layout and design directly on the terminal is fully automated. The most up-to-date information is available immediately, and alternate plans can be developed quickly. TOPES is a modern, efficient aid for space planners and engineers.